Good afternoon. How are you? Well, the temperature is 66 degrees. Whoa. Ah, what a dream. Of course, they say 2 days from now we're going to have snow. So there it is. But we take them as we get them. The reason I'm out here in the afternoon is Holly had to take some tests today. And I'm glad to say they all came out unremarkable, which is the cursum honorum in order to be put on the transplant list. But enough of that. In terms of what's happening on the national scene, we now find out that, and it shouldn't surprise us, that our former president, Mr. Trump, has been taking top secret documents to Mar-a-Lago. Now, A, that's a crime. B, the possible sentence for it is 3 years, and there are fines as well, and you can be barred from running for office. And I sure hope to hell that somebody will use this and chase after this scofflaw who breaks laws right and left every day, every other day, and nobody does anything about it. Now, everybody's saying things like, Justice Department must be doing something, right? No. In fact, the archive asked the Department of Justice to do something, and they haven't done it. They haven't gone to interview anybody. They haven't gone to investigate it. And so it appears that, and I've put up a little statement on Twitter to this effect, it looks like Garland is Barr's mini-me. Okay, maybe he's not full-blown corrupt, but you can do as much damage doing nothing as doing something. And there's a theory of law called misprision of a felony, which is I see a criminal act, maybe I'm supposed to act upon it. But if you're the top law enforcement officer in America and your name is Garland and you do nothing, you should be thrown out of office. This is to protect and preserve our government, our Constitution. And he's doing nothing about it. And when you fail to do it and there's no deterrence, more people do more bad things. And we see that all the time. So, top secret, you should keep in mind, that means national security. So he has documents that involve national security, unsecured, at Mar-a-Lago. What did he choose and why? Where is it now? What are we doing about it? I see in recent days a lot of people say things like, the Justice Department must be doing something. Why? Why do you presume this Justice Department or any Justice Department does the right thing? There have been short periods of time when the Justice Department showed profile that was characteristically constitutional and historic in a good way. Barr was a disaster because he was nothing more than a mouthpiece to conceal the unlawful and unconstitutional acts of Trump. And now we have Garland, who does nothing. And I'm sick of former Justice Department officers saying things like, we want to apologize for the local farmer. Want to apologize for the Justice Department. I'm sure they're doing something. They'll come forward when this happens or when that happens. Bullshit. And the big lie can get us all in a lot of trouble. And TikTok, we're coming toward the midterms, and then we're going to have to be combating the argument, it may appear true, but it's really not because it involves the election. Okay, well, I guess that's enough of that. There are a couple of other things going on. For the Supreme Court, we have a D.C. appellate judge named Jackson, who was a public defender, and was cleared by the Senate only a year ago for this position in the Court of Appeals. Some say it's the most important court in the country. I'm partial to the Second Circuit, which is New York, Vermont, Connecticut, where I'm originally from. But there's no question that some of the most important issues in our history have come before that court. And Ms. Jackson has been sitting on that court. She also has the pedigree of, Harvard, and she therefore is very hard to challenge on that level. And some people are arguing for other people. And one of the worst arguments, I think, is being argued in North Carolina. Why can't we have a person who went to an ordinary law school? Well, first of all, I don't disagree. We could have somebody from anywhere. But when we're going to have a fight on the Hill, and we're going to choose the best possible person we can choose, and even though the further you get from law school, the less important may be the law school training you got, although it sure does set you off in a direction that can make a difference to how well you practice and how well you are known to practice and how you can lead others in your practice. So I said at the outset, and I say now, Jackson is the one. We shouldn't be fooling around with, 12 possible nominees. We shouldn't be allowing this to coagulate on some Republican argument that defeats a really good justice, namely, in my opinion, Jackson. So enough of that. Palin's in New York, by the way. She's fighting the New York Times. She actually has somewhat of an issue that maybe they got some facts wrong, but they corrected him. I'm not sure they should have corrected them. And as a result, she's suing them for libel. Now, there are two parts to this case. One, is she a public figure? I say that's a very simple question, absolutely. And the reason that's one question is because if she's a public figure, meaning she has some ability, some platform herself to defend and argue herself, then the publisher of what she claims is false has to have, malice intended when they publish it. And I don't think they have that. So she's a public figure. There's no malice. So where does this go? I think she loses in the trial court, but she may try to appeal it to the Supreme Court to see if they will change the standard that was applied by law based on Times v. Sullivan in the trial court. I think that's fair. I think you understand that. I'm also upset that Youngkin poses with children when he diminishes their safety by outlawing a rule that prefers and directs that there be masks and there be vaccines and all of these protections so that our children will be safe. But America's got a lot of funny things going on, and I think it's because we migrate away from the law, the Constitution, common sense, dignity, fair argument, and we fail to prosecute the people who are being unlawful and unconstitutional, thereby encouraging more misconduct. So that's my thinking for the day. I'm going to continue to enjoy the 66 degrees until it drops again. All the best. Bye-bye.